One of the most exciting parts about being a photographer is when you finally print your work. I have ordered 2 gorgeous panorama prints by Paper Tides. In this video, we're going to unpack the prints together. I'm going to talk about my experience on having them made, and I'm also going to share with you a tough decision that I had to make along the way. Oh, I'm so excited. That is gorgeous. Okay, here's the Castleton Tower image. No way. I am so happy with how these prints turned out. I found Paper Tides through Mac and Owen from Bound for Nowhere. Emma, if you're watching this, thank you so much for all of the help. These prints are absolutely gorgeous. The process of printing a photo is probably a little bit easier than you think. When I reached out to Paper Tides, the process was quite simple. I had to choose the paper I wanted the prints to be printed on. I needed to choose a size. We then had to have a couple proofs made, and then we could get the final print made. One thing that can be a little bit overwhelming are the amount of options you have when it comes to photographic paper. Luckily, I was sent a packet of papers to choose from. And there were descriptions also so that I knew kind of what characteristics these papers had. After taking a look at the photographic paper, I decided on 2. One was a Canson Infinity fiber, and the other was a Hahnemühle Photorag satin. Now that I have completed the first step of the process of narrowing down the types of paper I wanted to use, I then needed to select a size for my prints. Because these are panoramas, I want them to be quite large, and so I settled on 36 inches by 12 inches, or 3 feet by 1 foot. The next step was to have a few proofs made. Now, because I chose 2 types of paper and I have 2 prints, I needed to have 4 proofs made. Here are some proofs. These are on the Photorag satin, and I wanted to have a color photograph and a black and white photograph. So whenever I want to get any of my photographs printed, I'll have a good understanding of what they'll look like on the paper, regardless if they're color or black and white. Now, these proofs are smaller strips from a main photograph. What we're trying to do is look at the tonal range and reproduction of the image on the paper, because the papers do have unique characteristics and qualities to them. Some might have more contrast, others might have less. The Photorag satin has a little bit of a satin finish on it, which gives it a little bit of a shine. Narrowing down my paper options from 5 or 6 to 2, then down to 1, is a very tough decision. Because truthfully, I like a lot of these papers. I realized that I like the Hahnemühle Photorag satin a little bit more. So that's the one that I chose. It was a very tough decision, again, because I really like a lot of the paper that I had to choose from, but I think it was the subtle textures in the paper and also that satin finish that won me over. It just gives the photograph a little something extra. I don't know how to explain it. It's just one of those things where you have to look at the photograph in real life to understand. I don't want these prints to get damaged, and so I need to put them in a frame as soon as possible. I don't want to accidentally scratch the top of the surface of the print or have something spilled on it, and I especially don't want the UV rays from the sunlight to start degrading the print, because I live in Colorado, my apartment gets all of the sunlight past noon, and I don't want my print to be damaged by the sun. When I select a frame, I need to make sure that the glass that comes with it has UV ray protection built in. I'm still debating on the frame itself. I don't know if I want to default to a black frame. The rest of the frames and pictures that are on my wall match my apartment aesthetic, and so they all have a black frame. But there's a part of me that really appreciates a lighter frame, and I think that that would work really well, such as a maple or a birch. I'm thinking that light. The last time I was in Moab, Utah, I went to the Tom Till photo gallery, and I noticed that a lot of his prints were framed with a lighter colored wood. It wasn't as light as a maple, but it wasn't as dark as a walnut. I'm not exactly sure. I need to figure that out because I think my photographs would look really good in a lighter frame. Printing your work is so important. We as photographers spend so much time and energy finding locations to shoot, going out into the field and photographing them, and then coming back home and processing the images. In today's world where social media is so fast-paced, it's easy to get caught up pumping out a bunch of photos for likes and comments. Printing your work allows you to slow down and really train your focus on one specific image. In turn, I think this makes us much better photographers. I hope you've enjoyed this video and that I've encouraged you to begin printing or continue printing your own images. If you found this video helpful, go ahead and give it a like, and let me know in the comments if you've printed your own work and what your process has been like. I'd love to hear about your experience. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.